Hello everyone, welcome to the class on carbonyl chemistry part 3. In the previous lecture, I have discussed all these topics. Initially, I have started with polar carbonyl bond. This carbonyl bond is a polar bond. That means it generates a partial positive charge and partial negative charge. The reason for generation of these charges is oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. Because of its electronegativity, it pulls pi electron towards oxygen. Because electrons has got a negative charge, it acquires a partial negative charge, and the negatively charged electrons are moving away from carbon, and hence it generates a kind of partial positive charge. Now the carbon with a partial positive charge is known as electrophilic center. Now, what do you mean by this electrophilic center? Electrons contains a negative charge. Phile means loving. So in general, opposite charges will attract each other. This positive charge will get attracted to a negative charge. Because of this thing, it is called as electrophile, electron loving or negative charge loving. The counterpart is nucleophile. In nucleus you have protons. So protons has got a positive charge. So anything which goes towards a positive charge is known as nucleophile. Generally we represent it as Nu. So a nucleophile will goes and attach to this electrophilic center. Remember this, all organic chemistry reactions can be divided into two categories. In one category, oxidation reduction reactions are there. Another category, you have electrophile and nucleophilic reactions are there. If you understand the basic concepts like electrophile and nucleophile, half of the organic reactions can be mastered. Now after that, I have explained various functional group which contains a carbonyl component like aldehydes, ketones, acids, anhydrates, esters, acid chlorides or acid halides, and finally amines. All of them contains a carbonyl component. Now after discussing this, I have given an important topic called thermodynamic stability of carbonyls. The carbonyl carbon hybridization is sp2 hybridization. The moment S character is increased, the electrons will get closer to nucleus. If this is a nucleus, around the nucleus electrons will be revolving. If in hybridization S character is increased, the orbitals will be moving closer towards nucleus. In nucleus you have a positive charge, electrons has got a negative charge. If S character is increased, they are tightly held by the nucleus because of attractive forces. So this sp2 hybrid orbital are much stabler than sp3 hybrid orbitals. That is the reason why this bond is considered as thermodynamically stable one. After this, finally, I have explained various reactions of carbonyl components. You have nucleophilic addition reactions and nucleophilic acyl substitution reactions. Now, in this class, I am going to explain about all these topics. We will see one by one. Now, this is a typical carbonyl group. Now, carbonyl group with an alkyl or allyl substitution is known as acyl group. This is a generic name given to these groups. Now, this acyl groups contain a substitution. In most of the components, this acyl group is attached with an atom or a particular group. Now, the groups attached to this acyl component strongly affects the reactivity of carbonyl compound. That means whatever the group is attached here, this one will decide what kind of reactions will occur on this carbonyl carbon. We have seen two different kinds of reactions, nucleophilic addition, nucleophilic acyl substitution, and these reactions are depend upon groups attached to this acyl group. Now briefly, these are all the groups we have seen in the last class too. Aldehydes, to this acyl you have a hydrogen attached there. Ketones, alkyl group is attached, whereas in case of carboxylic acid, OH group, esters, it is OR, anhydrate, the acid fragment, acyl halides, a halogen, amides, and amine group is attached. Now, when you see all these groups, this group plays a major role in the reactivity patterns. See, what kind of reaction occurs on carbonyl depends almost exclusively on the nature of substrate. What does it indicate? These are all substrates for the reactions, and this substrate will decide whether the reaction is nucleophilic addition or nucleophilic acyl substitution. It is not the reagent which is coming and attacking. Usually it is a nucleophile. This will not decide. What is deciding the reaction pathway? The substrates. Now, based upon that group attached to this acyl group, the substrates are divided into two categories. In one category, this atom is more electronegative than carbon. You can look here. See, in carboxylic acid, in ester and anhydrate, what is the atom attached to this acyl group? It is oxygen. In acyl halides, it is chloride. In amides, it is nitrogen. When you look the electronegativities, oxygen electronegatividity is 3.44, whereas chloride electronegatividity is 3.16, nitrogen it is 3.04. Do you remember what is the electronegativity of carbon is? It is only 2.55. So to this carbon, all atoms which has more electronegativity are attached in this group. Whereas in other group, when this attached atom is R, it is a ketone. Ketone, the attachment is only carbon. The other one is hydrogen. Again, carbon electronegativity is 2.55. Hydrogen electronegativity is even low, 2.22. So based on these electronegativities, these are made into two groups. In one group, the electronegativity is high. In another group, electronegativity is equal or low. Now, this is important one. The reason is the group with electronegativity equal or less electronegativity will undergo nucleophilic addition reaction, whereas the groups with high electronegativity will undergo nucleophilic acyl substitution. Look at this. This is what is the statement is. Based on that group attached or based on that particular substituent, the reaction pathway is decided. If it is aldehyde and ketone, the characteristic reaction is only nucleophilic addition but not substitution, whereas in other cases it is substitution. Now, why is this happening? Let us see. Now, see, the same thing is explained here. Carbonyl compounds with groups that cannot be replaced by an incoming nucleophile. See, the carbonyl center, carbon is an electrophilic center which is attacked by a nucleophile. Nucleophile comes and attacks here. Now, these groups R and hydrogen cannot be replaced. If they cannot be replaced, substitution will not take place. Then what takes place? Addition takes place. So again, nucleophilic addition is a characteristic reaction of these compounds. In this case, carbonyl compounds with groups that can be replaced. Replaced means substitution is allowed. If they can be substituted, what could be the characteristic reaction? Nucleophilic acyl substitution. So this group will determine what kind of reaction will take place. Now, why is this happening? In order to understand that, you need to understand a concept called as leaving group. What is a leaving group? See, the incoming nucleophile attacks here and this group is replaced. That means this group is coming out. This is called as a leaving group. It is leaving from the carbonyl component. See, this nucleophile comes with an electron pair. So this leaving group also comes out with electron pair. That is the reason why you are getting a carbon with a kind of partial positive charge, to which this negatively charged nucleophile goes and attacks there. Now, look at this one. What is this? Now you need to understand acid-base concept with respective to Lewis theory. See, in order to explain acid-base concept, we have Arrhenius theory is there, Bronsted-Lowry theory is there, and Lewis theory is there. Here we need to consider Lewis theory. The reason is, look at them. The nucleophile is coming with an electron pair. With respective to electron pair means you need to define bases with respective to Lewis theory. Why so? Lewis theory says that electron pair donor is a Lewis base, whereas electron pair acceptor is a Lewis acid. Now understand this one. What is happening with our carbon? Carbon is with a partial positive charge, so it accepts an electron pair. So in carbonyl compound, when you see this in carbonyl compound, the partially positive carbon is an electrophilic carbon center, is also a Lewis acid because it accepts electron pair. Now, the nucleophile will act as incoming Lewis base. It comes with electron pair, or it is donating electron pair. Now, what it has to do with the leaving group ability? In order to understand that, you need to understand the concept of strong base and weak base. What is considered as a strong base? Strong base means it is highly reactive. Highly reactive means something which comes with something which has got electrons which are highly reactive. Take in the case of hydride. Understand this one. Hydrogen is with one electron. It has got one electron. If it loses that electron, it becomes H+, that is a proton. If it acquires one electron, then it gets two electrons, and this is called as hydride. Hydride is a very good example for strong base. Now, why it is called a strong base? Because these electrons are there, hydrogen will have a negative charge, and the charge atom is very reactive. It is unstable. Unless there is a stabilizing factors, it is very reactive. There are no stabilizing factors in this hydrogen. So the hydrogen with 2 electrons known as hydride is very reactive. What do you mean by very reactive? Very reactive means it immediately goes and react with something else and come and try to give these electrons, try to donate these electrons. So strong base is the one which immediately reacts and gives that electrons. It cannot exist as such. Similarly, what is a weak base is? Weak base in the opposite sense is the one which can neutralize that electrons pair. I'll take an example of iodine. Iodine with 2 electrons, it can easily neutralizes all these electrons over its surface. So it stays as such. It stays as such. It is neutralized. It is stabilized. Why it is stabilized? One, it is because of iodine electronegativity. Second, it is completely spread over this large atom of iodine, so it is stabilized. So this one is considered as weak base. Now getting back to our look at this one. Now I told you here the groups cannot be replaced. Now think about it. If at all it has to get replaced, the nucleophile is coming with electrons. What has to happen? This hydrogen should come out as H minus and this alkyl group should come out as R minus. Then only this nucleophile can attack this carbon center. Now think about this then. Are these two a stable one? No. There are no stabilizing factors and they are strong bases. They immediately go and attack carbon. It is very difficult to keep them as such. That is the reason why they cannot be replaced. It is not possible. Now think about this case. What is OH? OH, when it comes out, it becomes OH minus. OH minus is stabilized. Why it is stabilized? Because oxygen has got high electronegativity. It is happy to accommodate electrons with itself. Hence it is called as a weak base. It is not readily reactive. It is stabilized one. So it is a weak base. That is true with all cases. Cl minus is a weak base. It can easily accommodate all these electrons. That is the reason why they can get substituted. They will come out when a nucleophile comes and attacks. Now this is what is the statement is. A good leaving group is a weak base because OH can easily come out. It is a good leaving group. Why it is easily coming out? Because it is happy to accommodate these electrons. Hence it is a weak base. Understand this concept. This concept keeps coming in entire organic chemistry. Now let me explain a little bit in detailed manner. Now let us take about halogens. Now all of them, see this alkyl halides we will see in nucleophilic substitution also. Now imagine this one. What happens if the fluoride comes out as a leaving group? It becomes R plus and F minus. Whereas chloride, the same thing, R plus Cl minus. Bromide, R plus Br minus. Whereas iodine, R plus I minus. Now the same halogen group, which one is a weak base, which one is a strong base, we will consider this. Now electron pair is there, so all of them are bases. What is the definition of Lewis base? Anything which can donate a pair of electrons is a Lewis base. So all of them contain electron pairs, so all of them are bases. Now you need to figure out which one is a strong base, which one is a weak base. To understand this, we will see about radius. The fluorine has got small radius because this one has got a very high electronegativity. Now chlorine, a little bit bigger one, whereas bromine, even a bit bigger one. Iodine, among the series, iodine is the biggest one. Sorry. Now see, all of them you have got electrons are there. Now these electrons, because all of them belong to same group, they need to get spread over these atoms. Now while spreading over these atoms, remember this, the one which has got a bigger atomic radius can easily spread these atoms. Once they are spread easily, they are a little bit stabilized. If they are stabilized, if this charge is stabilized, it is happy to stay as such and it becomes a weak base. This is what is the concept. See, there are two things. One, electronegativity plays a major role as well as other stabilizing factors. See, all of them, halogens has got very good electronegativity. Fluorine has got very good electronegativity, which is equal to 3.9. But the problem comes with atomic radius. The small atomic radius cannot accommodate these electrons, so it will be very reactive. Very reactive means this one is strong base. Now see the pattern. In a periodic table, In halogens, when you are coming down in group, what happens? The radius increases and the basicity decreases. So this is the concept. It is based on atomic radius and everything. I'll repeat this again. See, the electrons cannot be easily spread over this small atom, hence they are very reactive. Whereas in case of iodine, they can easily spread over this entire iodine, so they will be stabilized and they become weak base. So in carbonyl compounds, the groups can be replaced when they are good leaving groups. If they are coming out as weak good leaving groups, then nucleophilic SL substitution takes place. In these cases, they cannot come out because they are not stable one, and hence nucleophilic addition reaction takes place. So these are all the basics which you need to understand. In the next class, we'll see the mechanistic approaches of nucleophilic addition and nucleophilic SL substitution. Thank you for watching this video.